Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today I want to talk to you guys about why I've been gone for so long, what's happening here in the workshop, and why it's so oddly empty now. No, I'm not closing up shop or selling anything. I did get rid of some things. I'm getting rid of the green K&T, my parts mill, because I'm possibly getting a new machine. Now, possibly. I have all of my ducks in a row as far as moving the machine, buying the machine, financing, because I'm going to have to use a little bit of financing to purchase this machine, possibly. And it's going to be a change. A lot of things are going to be changing. Now, the reason I've been gone for the past few months is because I've been incredibly busy. There was a Sunday a couple months ago where I was supposed to be on an ARW discussion, and I was across town at the time, and I had to hurry across town. Now, I wasn't speeding, and for those of you that don't know, I drive a Ford F100, 1964 Ford F100. I wasn't speeding or anything, but as I was going, my engine started getting hot, and I started burning oil pretty bad, and I thought that there was an oil leak from my valve cover. I was wrong. My pistons were melting. It leaned out really bad and eventually blew a hole in piston number 2. And for 4 weeks after that, I took that motor out, rebuilt it, put it back in. It now has a Phytech EFI, which won't allow it to ever lean out the way it did. It also tells me a lot more information than I used to have with just the dummy lights. I'm still working that out and still getting that done. That's been taking up nearly all of my time and money. Even after everything was rebuilt, I still had to iron out a bunch of kinks. Now I'm starting to get back into doing more home shop stuff and trying to get more jobs in here because I need to get more jobs in my home shop. My regular job at Progressive Machine has been going very well. I've been progressing quite a bit, and I'm a lot more comfortable with machining than I was. I thought I was fairly comfortable with it, but now at this point I feel like I can do anything, but I know I can't. I feel like I can do quite a bit now. Versus before, I didn't feel like I could do a whole lot. So let me show you guys the new machine I'm possibly getting. Don't get too excited. I'm trying not to, even though I have all my ducks in a row and, you know, trying to get it. So let me show you guys the new machine and some things around the shop that have changed, because obviously some things have changed. The machine I'm looking at buying is this 20 by 96 standard Lodge & Shipley. It's a Model X machine. It has the intermediate gearbox, which goes up to 1740 RPM. It has, I think, a 16-inch steelback chuck on it. I went and I felt the machine myself and moved some things around. It has a couple of issues, but nothing I shouldn't be able to sort out. The carriage, the rust on it is actually really shallow. It's surface deep. Everything is in very good shape. This box here is just filled with all sorts of goodies. It has a Mitutoyo DRO on it, which seems to be in decent shape. Everything on it seems to be in very good shape. The electrical panel on the back, I opened it up. It's all practically brand new. There's an outlet on the back which is practically brand new. The machine, other than sitting outside for a while, is in very good shape. The coolant pump is off of it, but it comes with the machine. Of course, it has a steady rest. It's an incredibly nice machine, and I'm hoping I can get it for under $2,000. Now, might not. There's a really good chance I won't, but here's hoping. I've seen machines like this go for less. People usually don't like to buy very large machines, especially the older ones, even if they have DROs and such on them. So this one is a very nice machine. It has a crank tailstock, which is nice. I've moved around a lot of tailstocks similar size to that one, and it's not great unless you have a crank. Um, I moved the tailstock and the way wipers. There's scrapers. The way scrapers, they're made out of brass, just wipes off all the rust. All the rust. It's in, again, very good shape. Now electrically, I'm gonna have to do some downgrading. Right now, it has a 15 horsepower motor on it. I don't have enough electricity in my shop to run a 15 horsepower motor. I have 60 amps, so I'm going to get a 5 horsepower motor, possibly a 7.5, and use it. So I'm probably going to go with a 5 horsepower just to stay below, but that's going to be plenty for what I need. That's going to be good enough. So this is a very nice machine. It's going to take up a lot of space. I measured it out, and from end to end, it is to the 8th 15 feet long. So in this little shop where I'm only allowed a small area, it's going to take up a lot of space. However, it's also going to do a lot of work. Now the space I plan on putting it in is right here where this workbench is. As you can see, there's a lot of junk here. There's a huge amount of 223 parts and radiators and bolt bins, just a lot of stuff. Most of it can get either thrown away or sold. All the 223 stuff can go. Well, maybe not all of it, but most of it. I have another engine to rebuild, so I might keep a lot of it, but most of it's garbage. I have winches that I have a big 5-ton winch that Adam from Small Town Machine Shop gave me, and an electric winch that Adam from Small Town Machine Shop gave me. The electric winch I'm going to use for a shop crane because I need something to lift heavy stuff. The big mechanical one, I want to restore it and use it as a big mechanical winch on a trailer, hopefully. Now the punch press is sadly going to have to be moved. I'm going to keep it. It's going to stay around, but it's going to have to go somewhere else. That lathe is going to take up this entire wall, essentially. This, because I'm only allowed a space that's supposed to only be about 10 by 15, but it did get kind of increased to 10 by 20. So, not a small space, not something to be scoffed at, but for the amount of machines I have and stuff, the punch press, the milling machine, the metal shaper, which I still need to get going. I'm trying to keep everything in this area, but doing my best. So the shop is going to hopefully be a lot more open than it was, because the green K&T was a cancer, in my opinion. I had plans for the green K&T, the parts K&T. You probably saw it in my first couple of videos if you'd watched them. I'd prefer you don't because they're trash. I had plans to use that machine as sort of the base for a CNC mill. The current plan is to strip all the gears out of it, strip off anything useful, anything that other people might be able to use. I'm going to strip out there's a column underneath that holds a nut for the Z-axis for the knee screw. I need to get that out because the one I have on my K&T is broken. So that's not ideal. And then all the gears are going to go to Adam from Small Town Machine Shop. He has a Cincinnati production milling machine that you have to change the speeds. You have to swap out gear sets. So if you can take those gears and modify them or use them as is, because they're mostly spline gears, then that would be absolutely amazing. Adam has given me a lot, and a lot of just stuff. The metal shaper, the punch press, the 2 winches. He's given me a drill press. He's given me tons of tools. He's given me a little hacksaw and all kinds of things. So I'd like to give back to him in any way that I can. Any way. So those are the current plans. Let me back you guys up a bit more and show you guys sort of the plan for the shop in more detail. This here is the shop as it sits. Naturally, it's just disgusting and dirty. I've been working to get it clean and get things put away. And I've mostly been successful at it, but we also do a lot of work around here and a lot of projects. So the current plan is to have the green lathe up against the wooden wall over there. That way it can be used still. I originally wanted to buy that machine from my dad and then sell it or give it away for all I care. That lathe, I have thrashed it over the years. It's the lathe I learned on. It's a machine I've done a lot of industrial work on, things that that lathe was not meant to do. That lathe is very weak and lacks rigidity. If I put a bar in it that's over 1 foot long, I can move the entire headstock, measuring from the chuck, from the side of the chuck. I can move the whole headstock side to side 5 thousandths and up and down about 5 thousandths. It's not a rigid machine. It's not a very good machine. I've checked the spindle bearings. The spindle bearings themselves are good. It's the entire casting twisting. They're fine for what a lot of people do with them, but for what I need a bigger lathe, which is where the Lodge and Shipley comes in. Now, I've been trying to look for a smaller lathe, a 16-inch by 54-inch, which that's about what I need. But I haven't found one locally that has the specs that I need, that is in any... I've not found any lathes I've found interesting. None that I would use, none that I could use. There have been a couple of ads where a machine that I could maybe restore. There are 2 or 3, but for the most part, pickings are slim in the try. So that's a big reason why I'm jumping on this Lodge and Shipley. It's a bigger machine than I want, but also it has every quality that I want. It has the speed ranges that I want, the rigidity, the capacity. It just has a little bit much, or it has a little bit more than I really want, which isn't horrible. So now that I've explained a few things, I want to go around the shop and show you guys some of the newer additions. The newest one is this big old 4-jaw chuck. Now, of course, it's covered in trash. But this is the large 4-jaw chuck off of the Boy and Emmis lathe that Adam had. He took the headstock of that lathe, used it for powering his milling machine, his Kemp Smith milling machine, and he asked me if I wanted it, and I said, sure, because a 4-jaw like this is nice on the mill to hold down awkward pieces, hold down like forgings and stuff. I think this is going to be nice. Another thing, excuse all the mess around here. I have a cold steel cabinet, that gray cabinet has a safe inside of it. It's a very nice cabinet. I went to buy that, and the guy had this Tacoma screw cabinet sitting next to it. So I bought that, and I have end mills and lathe tools, all sorts of stuff in here. It's a very, very nice storage system. I like it quite a bit. And I have rearranged this whole area here. Again, all that mess I'm cleaning up. I've rearranged everything. I have big shelves up here for storage. This desk here is a new one. I made out of 3-inch square tubing and a bunch of other stuff. Another addition is this little power hacksaw. This did come with a base and a motor, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to mount the motor above the pulley and use it here. Now this is replacing the Harbor Freight bandsaw that I had. Not a fan of that Harbor Freight bandsaw. This thing is a lot cooler and it's better suited for what I need, which is something to cut off small things. That bandsaw was okay, but blades, they were very, very weak, very fragile. Not a fan of them. Of course, the power hacksaw is still going strong. I still use it constantly. The punch press has sort of been reserved as a pants rack. Take on my pants at the end of the day. I have some jobs that are coming up where I'm going to need it. So stay tuned. Of course, Pennzoil trash can. I'll pick that up later. All of my 223 parts, couple of oil bath air cleaners, heads, all sorts of stuff, couple of cranks over there, motors, electric winch, etc., etc. This is all gonna have to move. I have bench grinders and toolboxes and tools and all the stuff up here. Most of the stuff up on top is trash, or it has a place elsewhere. It needs to be put away. Little drill press, it's broken now. I bent the spindle on it. And the metal shaper. The metal shaper has had very little progress. It does have a bunch of dirt on it from the rebuild. I had to put my transmission on the table of the metal shaper, and my transmission had about a half-inch layer of grease and grime. And sadly, even though it was clean, now it is not. That is going to get flipped around, shoved up by the K&T. And then I'll start working on it and getting it done. Where it used to sit by next to the K&T, it was very difficult to get to, very difficult to work on. Now I'm opening things up more, getting it hopefully back into a usable condition. I might get it back into a usable condition and sell it for whatever I put into it. Maybe a couple of $100. I don't know yet. It'll definitely be a useful machine, but I really want to find a shaper head for the K&T, save on space. And I found one, but it's pretty far away, and it comes with a whole other K&T, so I can't afford that expense. But I'll still keep looking for a shaper head, a jumping jack, as they're called. That's pretty much everything that's changed in the shop. The space is so much more open now. I can swing my arms around. Even if I don't get that lathe, it'll be nice to have more open space. Even with the shaper here, it's not going to take up a massive amount of room. And so it'll be a lot easier to machine things in here, easier to move around, which is always super, super nice, super good. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. Can't promise regular updates, but I can promise that I will get to it eventually. No need to remind me every 6 months. That being said, have a good day.